I'm Louise Duke. I've been working with Jason since 2010. So since I joined TD, I've known Jason as our go-to investment advisor. As a financial advisor within the branch at TD, we would actually refer some of our high net worth clients to Jason. Well, I'll let him talk about why he picked me. What I noticed about him is the way that he interacted with his clients. Jason's very open, welcoming, easy to talk to, easygoing. Has one of the heartiest laughs I've ever heard, because when Jason's in the office, and because you can hear his laugh through the whole office. And with Jason, as it is with me, his clients become his friends. So we get so intertwined with our clients and their families and their lives that they become friends. And that's one of the things that I really liked about Jason, is that he's very much like me in that sense. Being a certified financial planner and also just having a true passion for wanting to help people, it's always been something that's been given me personal self-gratification, basically, is being able to help others. So getting into the financial services business was probably a great move for me, and moving towards financial planning was also another great move, because I have such a passion for making sure that my clients, one, that I can help them save for retirement, two, that I can actually assure them that they can retire. That's probably one of the biggest things. I've had a male client start to cry in my office because I said that he was able to retire. And it's funny because I meet with him 5-6 years later, and he tells me, he said that was one of his biggest fears was not being able to afford to retire. Yet him and his wife are living the lifestyle they want. They're traveling, they're retired, and their assets are at the same spot as they were when we first started, even though they're drawing on them. Yes, 5 years ago.
I'm Jason Ritz, and I'm from Sudbury, Ontario. I didn't know if you wanted me to use Lively or Valley East. No, I'm from Sudbury. We both have different expertise, different knowledge base, I guess. So, that was one of the drivers why we partnered. I think our goal, or my goal, in partnering was to truly offer holistic wealth management. So what I mean by that is being able to take an approach to care. And that means addressing all the dimensions of a person or an individual or even family's financial well-being. And to do that effectively, you got to have a process. And the process needs to be very disciplined and very streamlined. But I know where my strength is. I'm not oblivious to that. It is in asset management, and Louise is in financial planning. So she's able to articulate very well, and she stays on top of current legislation. She stays current in strategies, and it just seemed like, to me, the perfect marriage. So bringing together two expertise, which is basically improved coordination, where you're working together and pooling your expertise and your experiences so that you can create comprehensive and effective plans for your clients. So that's really the ultimate goal. Well, it's a sad story, actually. Well, I got into this business because my dad had become unemployed, packaged out, we'll call it. Yeah, and he came home and he didn't know what to do, so he went to his bank. And the bank sold them on, put your money here, do this, do that. And it was a terrible plan. It led to a lot of desperation. So that was a primary driver for me. Yeah. So, because I knew what my father was going through, and I guess it would be as a teenager, having witnessed that and understanding, because at that moment in time, you know what's going on. And it made me angry that this happened, that he wouldn't have a retirement, he wouldn't have a future, and it bothered me. And it bothered me right through university. So I focused my whole tenure in university in finance. Yeah, finance and law, because it wasn't really sure of the direction that I wanted to take. I knew it would be in the corporate world, and I wanted to get back at those that inflict pain like that. So it's a sad story, but that's what drove me into my business.
To me, that is the best feeling in the world. Or, having a spouse sit across from me and knowing that we did the best we could as far as, planning the estate and making sure that the assets transition smoothly for not only for a spouse when they lose their partner, but also for a family when they lose their parent or their loved ones. It's such a passion for me that sometimes, even when I'm out with friends, I have to step back and because when I hear that so-and-so's sick or so-and-so inherited money, I'm like jump right away into the financial planning and want to make sure that they're prepared for death, or that that they're prepared for receiving a large sum of money and where they should put it. Or even with my kids' friends, they're at the stage of life where they're having children, they're getting married, they're buying houses. And I'm first thing, you have to have a first home savings account, make sure that you have an RESP for kids. So it's a hat I wear all the time, and that's how much passion I have for this business. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, when you really love something, it's not a job for me. This is just something that I love. Right, so the process that we follow basically, and for me especially, sometimes clients are coming to me to talk to me about their investments. First appointment when I meet with a client, I don't even talk about the investments, and I tell them that. Listen, the investments are an important piece of this, but the most important piece is you. I need to know, what are your goals? What are you planning? I really need to know you so that I can make sure that the investments are meeting your needs. We're not lawyers, we're not accountants. We have a very strong knowledge of, the legal systems and what's required, and especially from a financial aspect, obviously. But I've had clients that I've told to go back to their lawyer and make sure they do it the way that I recommended. In 2010, when I became a financial advisor, because prior to that I did business development for Canada Mortgage and Housing. So while I worked with all of the banks in Northern Ontario and I went in and trained them about mortgage insurance products, I didn't have any direct contact with the clients. And then in 2010, when I was forced to make a career change, because I was a single mom and my kids had to become the priority, I was traveling a lot in my previous job. I became a financial advisor, and from there I started realizing that I truly do want to help people and impact their lives. When I see someone sitting in the chair across from me crying happy tears, it's gratifying. So part of that process that I was talking about earlier is really, like I said, really collecting a lot of information from clients, and then I go back and I create a plan. So we have some pretty sophisticated planning software. And for clients to be able to actually see it, right? I mean, most people are visual. To be able to see, okay, where does my cash flow come from, 10 years into retirement? Here's where it comes from. With a click of a button, I can show them CPP, old age security, their pension plans, and then X number of dollars comes from their investments. Absolutely. You really do have to dive into people's lives, and we talk about their fears. We talk about their dreams, their goals, how hard they work to collect the assets that they've collected, right? And what do we do to protect them? What do you do to pass them on if there's anything left? But what do we do to pass on that legacy that they've built? Because people really have put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and made sacrifices in collecting those assets. And one of the biggest challenges people have is spending it. Yeah, because the clients that we deal with, all they've ever known is saving. I have to save for retirement, save for retirement, save for retirement. And they get there and they don't want to spend it. Get out there. And one of the biggest things is I've seen people not make it to retirement. I've seen people make it to retirement and pass a year later, and not get to enjoy the fruits of their labor. So, and I make it real for people. First 10, 15 years of retirement are going to be your best years. So get out there and enjoy it.
When I've asked the question, what is it that you're happy with, rather than just the generic term, they do elaborate in terms of, well, I know that whatever it is that we're doing, the plan that we have is getting me to where I need to go. And the fact that you review it annually or semi-annually gives me reassurance that I'm on track, and that when we do get derailed, you're honest. So I actually have had a few clients tell me that they appreciate my candor and when things are not going well. So in turbulent times like in 2018, 2022, 2008 and 7, I'm not afraid to sugarcoat it and say, we're off plan. I know you're drawing, but you have to cut back on spending. And it may not be what they want to hear, but they appreciate it.
My clients know that I'm a numbers guy. And I think that gives them a sense of peace, knowing that I'm on top of that. But also now having bringing Louise in, I'm having brought her in, gives them another sense of, piece of the puzzle that finally completes the picture.